Hey everybody, welcome back. Hope everyone's having a good day. What I wanted to do today, as I mentioned in my build video yesterday, I did a video of No Man's Sky a few days ago where I ran through my solar system, just showing people my bases, and it's been a lot more popular than I expected. It's only been up a couple of days; it's already had over 1,000 views. So, and I've updated those bases quite a bit since then. And so I'm not realizing how popular the video was going to be. I mean, if people are going to see my bases in those sort of numbers, then I'd much rather they saw them at their best. So I'm going to do a quick updated spin through my solar system just now and just show you guys what I've done with my bases really. This one here, this is the cloud base that I built last night and did the videos for. So I won't run around this place because there's already an hour long video of me building this from start to finish, and then a sort of eight minute long video of me showcasing it. So this one's been done. Everyone's seen this now, and if you haven't seen it, it's on my channel. Crack on, enjoy. It was an interesting little base to make. So what we'll do is we'll buzz back to my solar system. Start off with our sky base, the 7 orbital. I always think this bit looks like something out of Doctor Who. Finally, right, here we go. So this is the originally named Portal World. It's one of the beauties of building a sky base here because originally I had a base all the way down there. Right down there is my portal. So that's the portal that's in my solar system where you can put in all your little your logos like your dinosaur and your fish and your jellyfish and stuff and zap to other places. And so I used to have a base just in front of that so that you could just go there and go straight to the portal. But the problem is this planet is horrible. It's a horrible, horrible, toxic shithole, really. With all those sort of like nasty kind of toxic looking animals running around. It's hostile. It's just a nasty place. There was no reason you would ever come here other than to use the portal. Now, with this orbital base, because of the effects that you get with sort of light and transparency with the clouds and what have you at this height, this place is just gorgeous at all times of day. It's just a completely different look. So I come here all the time now just because it's nice to be here. In terms of the actual base itself, sorry, I'm just narrowing away. It's similar to the orbital one that I built the other night. It's obviously got its differences. There's a teleporter there that will take you down to the bottom layer because, again, in VR, ladders only work across one unit. This one's a bit more aimless than the one I put together last night. Like, for example, this is a kind of an aimless sort of jaunt into this. Didn't need to be here. It's got a similar viewing room to the one that I made before. This was sort of the base that I pioneered this on. This one's slightly bigger. It's got windows on the sides there, but similar setup. You can see where the inspiration for the previous one came from. When I sort of zipped through it and put that thing together in the space of an hour. It wasn't entirely my first rodeo. This is different, but it's close enough that I already kind of had a good idea of what I was going to do with it. Go downstairs. Again, the teleporter could get you down here as well if you're in VR, and that's where that's where it comes out. Then yeah, it's got your entrance bit down here, and then back here it's sort of like a chill out area. I had a fireplace in here previously. It just looked wrong with this, so I took the fireplace out of it. Just put in a bit of clutter, make it look a bit more. Put a new rug in because for some reason only half of it was showing. Yeah, there we are. There's our orbital base in our system. And let's just use the teleporter. So yeah, rename to 7 Orbital if anyone happens to come to my system. Oh, and if anyone wants to come to this system, by the way, this being my home system, you're more than welcome. That's the code for it. Down bottom left corner. Bird, jellyfish, dinosaur, triple pursuit, Triforce, blah 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 blah. So we'll take off from here. Next we'll go to our water base. When I did the video last, I'd named it the fishing spot. Again, originality from naming is never really my strong point. But I've renamed it now. It's now Port 7 Seas, or Port 7. Oh, well, Port 7 something. You'll see. But yeah, the underwater bit is very much the same as it was before. Yeah, Port 7 fishing dock. You'll notice the 7 is a theme throughout most of my sites, for obvious reasons. But before, what I'd done is I just had 4 landing pads around a cylindrical dome at the top, and then obviously it went into the underwater base below, which is fine, I suppose. But it wasn't what I wanted to do. So the very next day, because I'd only just built this one video before, so the very next day I came back and I made some alterations that I've been thinking about, and good alterations. So as you can see, we now have a complete wooden deck. I've done the alternate landing pads, and I've done them inside the deck so they don't stick out or anything. So you've now got 4 landing pads as before, inside the decking, all the way around. Again, it's a fishing place, so I mean you could just walk to the edge and fish over the edge. But I've also built these here, these quite handy. You can fish in these, nutrient processors and what have you. Yeah, when the seas get rough, it can get a bit choppy. But yeah, I mean underwater, still pretty much the same as it was before. There's a teleporter on one end of the dock, anything like that. Then that will take you straight down again for people who are in VR. For the non-VR among us, we can use the ladder. And then we've got, this. There's a door there, let you get out if you wanted to, swim about. The views in this one are stunning. I love my orbital bases, I really do, but the amount of... I got really lucky, to be honest. I just sort of decided I wanted to build a fishing thing since the fishing update came out, and just kind of found something out in the middle of the sea, essentially. I hadn't really given much thought to what was under it, but as it happens, we've got coral reefs, we've got loads, I mean loads and loads of different types of fish and stuff that float around down here. So it's actually a really, really nice location. I couldn't have found a better location really for an underwater base. It was completely by fluke, completely by luck. So this is the top half. Then there's another ladder going down and another teleporter. This one will take you down as well. Again, for the VR people. Oh no, that's one that takes you up. My bad, sorry. There's another teleporter that takes you down. I guess it'll be on the other side. So, I'm sure I had another teleporter here somewhere. I did put one in. It might be that it hasn't updated. I found this last night, so I did this and it didn't save, which was weird. Oh well, fine. Okay, well you can get down with a ladder, and for the VR people at the moment, you can always just get out the door there and then get in through the moon pool at the bottom. Not ideal, but there we go. Well, that didn't update. So yeah, then we've got our biodomes hanging off each bit here. Standard stuff, and then in here we got our moon pool with our Nautiloid or Nautilus submarine. And obviously another entrance there as well. Oh, that's what I did. So yeah, I put another entrance in so that you could, if you're in VR and you can't do ladders longer than 1 unit, you could just swim out, swim up, and swim in through the door up here. Potentially, if you wanted to do that. Where is the door up here? It's on this side. But if you're not in VR, you can just use the ladders. So there you go. That's the water base. But yeah, I wanted to show this one off in particular because previously, having the 4 landing pads, sure, it was fine and necessary to get the base built. I mean, the first thing I started with naturally was the landing pad and then built off of that. But this is better. I vastly prefer this, having these ones in the decking here. And it's a really simple thing to do. If you want to do this, and this works with the Exo craft as well, so you'll find this on my next base, all the Exo craft in my garage, that I've got these into the floor so they're not sticking up. And all you do is, like for this one, for example, if I wanted to do it here, I would say remove 1, 2, 3 of the floor. So you build your floor, build the level you want. Take out, say, 3 of these, build a small wall. It can be timber, can be stone, can be alloy, doesn't matter, but a small wall, and build it underneath. So instead of being on top of the floor, you're going under the floor, yeah, and then build floor panels off of that. So maybe, okay, 1, 2, 3 under. So you've got this like 1 unit down, like floor running across the bottom. Then you just take your landing pad, use the alternate one, okay, and then just place it on, and it will place on that bottom level. Spin it around so you've got one side of this. If I come up high, so you can see it from above. Oh shit, where are we? Where are we gone? So we can go up high so you can see it from above. So one side of these alternate landing pads, I love these by the way, these are really good. So one side of them, as you can see, is angled, right, and that's where the fighter will point. So you always want to have it so the angled side is pointing the way that you want your fighter to go, right? So in the case of this one, obviously I've angled them all like that, and then just place it, put your floor back over the top, and it all works. It will only leave the circle here so that you can see the landing pad. When you're coming in from above, obviously you'll have all of the landing things so you can see where they are, and you can summon in. It's got its console and stuff, and yeah, there you go. That's how you do it. Really simple, but looks really good, really effective. And so now we've got our simultaneous fishing dock plus underwater base. And now off to my favourite base. This is my oldest base. In fact, most of it's been built out of legacy parts, which I actually think work. It works in the sense of this base. Oh, too far, too close. Away. It's an unsafe trajectory for someone to all these ships in. There we go, should be our boost. So I initially built this base, I want to say, probably about 4 years ago. But obviously over time it's evolved quite a bit. Since getting back into the game again recently, I have made some alterations. I've made a few alterations since the last time I did a video on it. So we'll land here. There we go. Right. So previously, where I've got a couple of friends who've recently started playing the game, we've been spending a lot more time in this base. I had 2 more landing pads. I had one coming off here, and one coming off of here, just as a practical, that way more people can fit on here. But it was kind of gaudy, kind of gaudy, not particularly attractive. So I've changed things up. So we'll quick run through. Again, the internals haven't changed since the last time I ran through here. It's all as it was before. Here. This has undergone quite a lot of change over the years. There's a couple of things that I would like to do here, but I can't do because I built this back in the day and it's using a lot of legacy stuff. For instance, when I first made this, I was like, oh yeah, these two and then this the attempt at symmetry. I don't do that anymore. Now, if given the choice now, these would all just be these red gut rot flowers because it would look good and it would all just be one similar thing. But if I delete one of these now, it won't let me place another one because it's like, oh, these can't be placed outside, even though we're not fucking outside. Again, it's just a glitchy bit with the fact that, you know, it's an old base and I would essentially have to tear it all apart to make minor changes like that. So, you know, this is what it is from now on. Let's see. It's taking a second to load in. There we are. It's like our medical stroke science room. We've got the kitchen here. Trying to make a kitchen, something that looks like a kitchen, out of No Man's Sky building materials is surprisingly difficult. I think we've done a half decent job. It's a convincing kitchen. The building itself is on stilts to try and give it some, you know, sense of realism within the environment. So obviously I've put these here. See this for this building here. So I've got these running across the substructure, not in every block, but in certain points, so as that suspension of disbelief of why is it floating isn't there. Obviously we've got, you know, sort of a patio stroke decking here, which over time has been somewhat reclaimed by the land, which is good actually. I think it works. Just, you know, sort of general clutter and crap. This used to have a biodome on the top, which is kind of senseless. So I've taken that off and I've basically added a full biodome kind of botanical area here. Got all our nip. Gotta have the nip. Our little weed farm growing here. There's no exit out of this, so you just go back out the way we came. I've not gone with my usual fish tanks in the middle of the biodomes here. It didn't seem appropriate for what I was going for here. Everything in its right place, eh? So, then we've got, these are trees that you can get with quicksilver, mushroom and stuff you can get with quicksilver from the what's it? Random bits and bobs. I still don't even know what that is, but it looks cool, so it's there. And I've tried to make this look like a kind of a work in progress. I think we've done a half decent job of that. Back in and out the back. This is where all the time's really gone into this. It's like the actual structure itself, I could put one of these together reasonably quickly, but it's all the decking, it's all the just making it fit within the environment. I'd spent a lot of time and effort to really just the little details. Now obviously I've taken this down to one landing pad again. Got a little sort of patio bit out here as well. All the local fauna are friendly because we're perpetually feeding them, otherwise they would be trying to eat you at every opportunity. And then off the bottom of our pagoda, and this is clever as well, so what I've done here is that solar panel obviously isn't powering the base. You know, that would be one heck of a heavy duty solar panel to power this lot. Actually what it's powered with is off there in the distance, you can just about see it. So just about see it quite clearly. But that there, what I'm looking at, is my geothermal generator thing. So I've put it within a sort of a building area, so it's just not just geothermal things sticking out the floor. But that's where the power's coming from. What the fuck was that? Oh, there we are. Explorer's coming in. They're quite low. They're flying pretty low. But yes, that's where the power comes from. So obviously, our little sad little solar power thing here is not powering the base. So why is it here? Well, aside from the fact that I think it actually looks okay, that is how I have set up my lighting. So I've got lights all the way across here, all down here, all across here, going all the way around the decking, all the way down here. This light here, these two lights either side on my new landing pads, lights up top, all the lights basically set to come on at night and go off automatically in the day. And what I've done is I've used a solar panel to affect that. So I basically wired all the lights to that inverter right there, what I'm looking at. Okay, so that basically, and then wired them to the solar panel. So the solar panel controls whether the electricity is flowing or not. When the solar panel is open during the day, power is cut to all of the lights connected to this circuit. As soon as nighttime comes, that solar panel goes in, it re-enables the power, and all the lights come on. Clever, right? So yeah, auto lighting. There's a way to do it. So I built a little pagoda, pop that on top, looks nice, and that is simultaneously controlling all of the lights in the building. As we're getting dark, good timing, you'll notice that will shut, and all of these lights will come on. Give it a second. Boom. And they're on. All across the base. Automatic lighting, all controlled with one solar panel. For some reason, this always moves between loads, so I have to bring it back. Come on. There we go. So what I've done is I've built two landing pads, a little bit like I've done with the decking on the water base. I've built two landing pads either side here. So these are more like, that's kind of like your commercial landing pad, all right, which my ship's currently on. And then these two are more sort of private pads down the bottom. You do get plenty of other ships coming down and landing on these, like, so it's not just used by me and my mates, but there they are. They're the private pads there. I've also amended the cave somewhat. So obviously in the cave here, we've built into the cave. I'll probably do something with this. I'm probably going to shuffle this back. So I'll probably push this back further, another, I don't know, 3-4 units, and push this back into it so that this is more open and clear, so that when things come up, they actually have something that because otherwise that's sort of in the way. But for the moment, it works. I've pushed this further back, so it's now much further back toward the wall, and the reason I've done that is because I've built in here now a landing pad. So the back cave now has a ship landing pad, and it's a fairly easy land, to be honest. You have to come in from that angle. It's a bit like flying into Tokyo. You got to come in pretty low, but yeah, it works. You can get in without a problem. You ain't crashing into shit. And obviously, when you get back and take off, it'll take you off right up over everything, and then you're off. So it works. That teleporter takes you back up to the landing terminal. Down here, fortunately, more of these stalactites have grown back in, so they're now, which is great. This is what I wanted. It all fits perfectly now. I've changed this to a garage door, which is controlled with the power of a toggle. Hello. So he's in here. I had like a window or windows here. These are gone. There's no reason to have windows there. Put a couple of fans up. See ya. And over this side now, we have a powered door. So I think it just looks better. It works better. Got a few more stalactites hanging down around here, which works nicely. And then we've got the cave base, which is like my little back cave, and I fucking love this. This works perfectly. It all fits perfectly into the cave. It just works really, really well. Only thing, which I'll probably do something about, is up here in the bedroom area. This stuff's fucking floating. You see, it's floating off the floor. That's the rug that's doing that. It's the thing with rugs in this game. Sometimes they're okay. Like for example here, it's all right. sort of. Over here it's okay on these rugs, but this rug down here is making things. You know, I could take the rug out and I can put this stuff on them, which I will probably do, to be fair, because that right there annoys me. But you know, it's a nice rug. So yeah, there we are. That's our cave base. Really, really wanted to get one of these done. I only made this about, well, I did it like less than a week ago, which is why I'm still quite hyped about it. I watched a couple of YouTube videos of people making cave bases. There's a lot to it. Like this, where we are here right now, we're probably about 1.5 stories off of the base of the cave. All right, so don't think that this is the floor of the cave. This is not the floor of the cave. There's nothing. It doesn't go any further back. We have used all the cave. This was a small cave. If it had been bigger, I would have built more. But yeah, it's what we've done is I used to do this. In case you want to build in a cave, you can use anything. I actually initially started using stone, but I changed it to alloy afterwards. So originally this whole thing was stone, and you use the arches. So as you can see, get down quite low there. So we're at least 2 stories up here. So nothing coming through there, any stalactites, any poisonous grubs or whatever. We're safe. Nothing's ever coming through. This will never be reclaimed by nature. Annoyingly, if I get the build menu, I have to keep resummoning my vehicles because the wires just go. The wires in this game are kind of like metaphysical, because in your build menu they have physical and they will fuck with anything they go through. As soon as you're out of the build menu, it's like they no longer exist in physical space. Build menu up, wires everywhere. Pain in the neck. Really, I should have wired this up a bit more sensibly, but ironically, the more adept and better I've become at building bases in this game, the less of a shit I've given about wiring, because I just hide them all anyway. So yeah, but anyway, that's what we do. So what you do is you get down to the base of your cave and you build an arch, or you can build a lot more than one arch. You basically build a framework beneath of arches, and then you work your way up, and you'll kind of go up in layers. So like when you get to a point where the cave, you've kind of, you know, the floor of the cave is now above where you're at, you now need to go up another layer, and so on and so forth until you get to the mouth of the cave. And then what you do is you start placing the flooring down on top of these arches. You get rid of the arches once you get the floor down. That's what I've done. The arches aren't there anymore, but that was the infrastructure, the skeletal structure I had to put into place to build this. Get your stairs, what have you. Build everything into the walls. So I've kind of gone one unit further into everything. So floors going back further into the walls and stuff, so that there's no jank, no shite anywhere. And then yeah, just build up. It's cool, and you can get some incredible things. Some of the stuff I've seen people do, like, you know, this I think is pretty cool, but compared to some of the things that I've seen in this game and what people have built, yeah, you can get some really impressive shit. But I'm still pretty impressed with this shit personally. I think this is pretty good. And then obviously, yeah, this teleport will take you up to our landing terminal, which is up top here. And there we've got our appearance modifier, the teleporter to get in and out of that. It's obviously, and refiners if anyone's needing to refine. And then this brings us up to our, I'd call, commercial landing pad. And I've put a door on this one that can be toggled, as opposed to doing auto. I do auto on most of my doors, but this one's a toggle. Although I have noticed in VR, right, this doesn't work quite so well. I was in here in VR the other night just testing around and tried to go through this door, and you have to really, I was here for like a minute and a half, and I eventually managed to just kind of get to it, so I was able to toggle through. I mean, obviously in 2D, no problem, you can toggle it from back here. But in VR, that is problematic. So a lot of things in VR aren't quite so easy on this game, but you know, you only learn them from trying. That's how I learned about the ladder issue with VR. But anyway, there you go. So, quick run through of all my shit. You know what? While we're here, why don't I also, in the spirit of showing off, I'll show you the base that I built inside my cap ship as well. In case anyone's wondering what we got in there. Because naturally, there's no way that someone who builds all the bases that I'm going to build is going to have a cap ship with no base in it. That's not going to happen. my supporting fleet. Most of these are star whales. I actually did have 30, but I've gotten rid of all of them now and just kept, I think, 22 of them or 20 of them, because that's just my 20 S ranks. Everything I've got in this game is S rank. All my multi tools are S rank. All my ships are S rank. Everything is maxed as far as it can go, and I want all my frigates to be S rank as well. So I've gotten rid of all of the ones that aren't S rank, and eventually I will just have star whales. I'm just picking up S rank star whales, but I need to collect a load more detectors for them, which just means mining asteroids for ages. But eventually, I just want to have this fleet of star whale. I don't know, there's not, it doesn't benefit you necessarily, but I want to have a fleet of star whales just rocking around. Fortunately, all my starships won't be here because it only has a few of them smattered about. I've got the full 12. But anyway, these are a few of them. That's one that I made. That's another one that I made. I've only made 2 ships. That's these 2. Both S rank, obviously, both maxed out. So, or ostensibly maxed out. Then what else is it brought in? We've got, okay, that's one of my Dragonfly. That's the blue one. One of my Sentinel ships here. It's quite a nice one. That's not mine. That's a random one that's flown in. Nasty. Yeah, I don't own anything like that. That looks like my living ship. Another Sentinel ship. There's one of my solar ships. But yeah, there's a ton. Loads, including the squid ship. They're apparently super rare. And they're all S's. They're all S's. Yeah, if we hop on up to the bridge. So fleets wise, you've got obviously your squadron. So I've got 4 S rank squad pilots to tool around with me when I'm fighting. We've also got obviously the fleet. So I don't know. So so I've got 18 or so of these. So yeah, I've only kept the S's. Oh, and I've got 1A and 1B because they're both organics and they'll level up. But other than that, it's all just the S's there. Frigates. You should all be back actually from their missions, which is why all these little symbols are up. So let's have a quick stroll through the ship. Try to keep it nice and open, but also nice and symmetrical. So you'll find that there's windows are always symmetry on the side. Here I've got my vehicle and exo area. So that is just your exo terminal, and this is what allows you to summon in your exo vehicles from any system that you've got your cap ship in. Really, really useful. If you were going to have just one room in your freighter, this is the one. This one right here. Because if you're not using your exo vehicles, then you're missing out, really. This is the planetary probe. So obviously, when we get into a system, we come straight here and scan everything. And it's also, you can only have 5 of these. So hence the reason I've just put them all in this. So we've got a slightly not symmetrical thing here. But these are all the terminals for when you send your ships off to do your missions, and they're all green right now because they're all waiting to be debriefed. Having gone off and done their missions. Here we've got our base terminus and shop. Left side are our refiners, so we've got 6 refiners here. This gives us access to our hydroponics, because that's where most of the refining stuff's going to be coming from in the ship. And over here we've got our essentially lab area. So I've got my science terminal, I've got my construction terminal. Tried to make this room look kind of used and lived in. Weapons terminal over here, and then just made a little kind of area off of here. This is hydroponics. around there, and it's symmetrical, exactly the same on the other side. Although there is one extra bit on this side, because we've got this, but we only need one nutrient processor room, so we haven't got the same on the other side. This is actually legacy stuff, so you can't do this in these ships anymore. You can't place these planters in a cap ship any longer. But if it's legacy, so if you already had them in your base in your cap ship before the update came to change this, then you still can keep them. So obviously this is one of the only parts of my old cap ship base that remains. This used to be very different, and I've gotten rid of some of them now, but you know, I've kept a decent number of them. Also, my storage containers all got shuffled around when I came back onto the game after being off it for so long. As this obviously survived to a degree, but my storage containers were all over the place. I had to kind of do the glitch to get out of the ship to go and find them and retrieve them. And so they're not in order necessarily, but I've got one storage room there. I haven't had them all together completely because it just wouldn't work for symmetry. So I've got, obviously, I want to keep like windows symmetrical and what have you. I've got another one here, not numerical, of course. And then opposite that one, I've got another one here, but then this feeds through to all of the others. So all my other storage runs down the back here, and then I've also got these stellar extractors extracting at the back. When I say extracting, these are kind of shit. I've got to tell you, these aren't great. Don't get much out. Probably nothing in it right now. Yeah. One chromatic metal. Oh, at last I can give up this life of crime. So, but you know, they look cool, so there's that. And off down here, we've got Captain's Cabin. The old Captain's Cabin got completely fucked with the update, so I built a new one. Which works. And we've got our appearance modifier off there. Seems like the right place to put it. Oh, sorry. And finally, quasi-airlock. It's not an airlock, but you know, that's the purpose it's supposed to fill. And then we've got this external kind of viewing dock. So it's sometimes some of the places you go are absolutely gorgeous, and it's just nice to stand out here, have a ciggy, cup of tea, and just chill and look at the surroundings with my little fleet of star whales following along. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. So there you go. That is a little run around my updated solar system, my updated stuff, and a quick look at the cap ship. Hope it was interesting. Hope you all liked it. And yeah, see you all next time. Take care.